This is a live playthrough of Nintendo Friends in Angel Land, a fan-made card game based on 8-bit NES characters, which takes place in the Kid Icarus world of Angel Land. I am using the Vassal engine, which is great for play testing purposes, though a bit clunky moving pieces around the screen. This is a single-player game which takes about 20 minutes to complete. A typical game can range between 20 to 40 minutes. Now, as you can see on the start screen here in Vassal, there are 9 players to choose from Pit to Zelda. I will select Pit. Here I am just arranging the play area and setting up Pit with his starting items. That includes the wooden arrow, the harp, and the wax feather. Now I'll scroll down to the bottom here where the end bosses are, and I'll select an end boss at random. I selected Shadow Link at random. So now let's start with the Underworld stage. The Underworld consists of the purple cloud cards. I drew a Nettler on my first encounter, and I'm rolling for combat. I roll a 5, and the Nettler roll a 4. So I win, and I get the hearts and the treasure. In this case, 5 hearts and 2 health tokens. I draw again. The next random draw just so happens to be the stage boss, Twin Bellows. Bosses have health, so they usually take several hits to kill. So Twin Bellows starts with 3 health, and he does 3 damage if he hits me. If I hit Twin Bellows, I do 1 damage because I have the wooden arrow. I roll 6 to Twin Bellows 5, so I do 1 damage to Twin Bellows. Rolling for round 2. I roll 3, Twin Bellows rolls a 1, so I hit again. My third and final round. I roll 6, Twin Bellows rolls a 2, so I've had 3 lucky rolls in a row. Twin Bellows is defeated, and I get 20 hearts, 5 health tokens, and I can draw an Olympic treasure card. The Olympic treasure card is the Mirror Shield, so I equip that. I can only equip 4 items at a time, so I'm at my maximum already. And now I go straight to the overworld, which are the blue clouds. I draw the Girin and roll for combat. We both roll a 2. Players win on ties, so that's a victory for me. So Girin is defeated. I get the 5 hearts, so I'll do a little bit of banking with the hearts to simplify things a little bit, and I draw a room card. The room card is a treasure, so I'll discard that and draw a minor treasure card, which happens to be a magic mushroom. Now I can only hold 4 cards at a time, so I have to choose 1 card to discard, so I discard the wax feather. On to the next encounter. Next encounter are the Charons, 2 Charons. So I get 2 attacks and they get 2 attacks. We flip those over. I hit 1 and one of them hits me for 2 damage. Round 2. It's a tie, so I destroy the last Charon in round 2. So I take 2 damage from the first hit in round 1. I discard the Charon and get 5 hearts and draw a room card again. The room card is a training room, as it turns out. The training room gives me a major treasure if I'm successful, so I'm going to attempt the training room. So that's 4 attacks for me, 4 attacks for the monoliths. Flip those over, and it looks like I hit 3 monoliths, but I get hit by 1 monolith for 1 damage. So all in all, that's worth it, losing 1 life in order to grab a major treasure plus 4 hearts. And I obtain the small shield. Once again, I have to discard a card because I can only hold 4 at a time. So the small shield is more useful to me than the mirror shield at this point. And the next encounter is 4 rockmen. Now, the rockmen are quite challenging, so I'll use the harp to destroy them instantly. And I'll draw 40 hearts, do a little bit of banking to simplify things. The harp also, I'll discard the harp, and then I'll draw a mallet card and put 3 counters on that. So I have 4 mallets in total, and I can draw a victory card, which is another room. So I find another training room. This training room has 5 monoliths, but the victory is an Olympic treasure, which is quite good. So I'm going to attempt this training room. So it looks like I get hit 3 times, but I do 2 hits, so I take 3 damage. And I get 5 hearts for the 5 monoliths. And I draw the 1-up Olympic treasure card. And I decide to discard the wooden arrow, keeping the 1-up mushroom and the magic mushroom. Now I'm having to make hard decisions on which items to keep, which is part of the trade-off in how you decide to develop your character. The next draw is Hudra, who is the stage boss for the overworld, so I'll give him 5 health points, and then I'll actually use 2 of my mallets here to draw 2 centurions. Centurions give me extra attacks in combat, and they can also absorb attacks. So I'll do 1 attack for myself, 2 rolls for the centurions, flip those over. All of my attacks, including the centurions, are higher than Hudra's, so we all hit. I hit with magic mushroom. The magic mushroom gives me double damage on my strength, so I hit for 2 plus 2 more for the centurions, so I do 4 damage in total to Hudra on the first hit. He's left with 1 health, and I do 3 rolls again to Hudra's final roll. Flip those over, and again all of my rolls are higher, so Hudra is destroyed. I discard Hue Draw, and I take the 20 hearts. First I'll discard the Centurions. Centurions only last for one encounter. So I'll take the 20 hearts and do a little bit of banking, convert those into a 50. And I draw another Olympic treasure, plus 7 health tokens. The Olympic treasure is the Bow of Artemis, which is a great item. It gives me 1 instant kill for any non-boss creature, plus 2 first strikes. So I'll make the decision to discard the small shield and keep the Bow of Artemis. So now I'm on to the Sky World, which are the golden clouds. I encounter 4 strength Octo. Now it should be noted that the Bow of Artemis instantly takes effect, so I kill one of the Octos immediately upon entering the room, and then I engage in the 2 first strikes. So for a first strike to be successful, I have to roll a 3 or more. So I rolled 1 first strike, so that means 1 Octo is instantly destroyed and 1 was killed with the first strike, which means in combat I only have to face 2 Octo. So we do the 2 rolls for the 2 Octo, and unfortunately both Octo hit, so I take 8 damage. Now I decide, just for the sake of safety, to summon a Centurion to help me out in this combat. So I get 2 rolls plus the Centurion rolls. I hit 1 Octo and I miss myself, and the Centurion miss the other Octo. So 1 Octo remains and 1 was killed in that combat. I use the Centurion to absorb the hit from that round, and we're on to the next round. I decide to use my final mallet to summon another Centurion. So I discard the mallet. I get 2 rolls, one from the Centurion. The Octos get 1 roll. Octo rolls a 1, so that's an automatic hit. So that's the end of that combat. I collect 40 hearts and a room. The Centurion is discarded. The room is a hot spring, which gives me health equal to my starting health, so I draw another 10 health. I draw Uranus, but the Bow of Artemis immediately dispatches that opponent. I draw a room card, which happens to be a major treasure, and that happens to be a bomb. So on to the next encounter. Another 4 Octo. I roll for first strikes. I get 1 first strike, plus 1 instant kill, so there are 2 Octo remaining. I decide to use my bomb in this case, just to avoid another difficult combat. The bomb will instantly kill the remaining non-boss creatures in that room. So I'll collect the 40 hearts and the room. Do a little bit of banking, so that's 40 plus 1, and exchange that for 50. Now the room happens to be a Specknose nest. Now I have the option on the right hand side of the board to keep these room cards for a later time, if I so choose, but I decide to just go for it. I'm feeling a bit confident with the Bow of Artemis that I can kill 1 Specknose. With the other first strike, I can take 1 out immediately. In combat, I only have to worry about 1 Specknose, which I do happen to miss on the first round of combat, so I take 2 damage. Exchange that 10 for 8 health tokens. On to the round 2 of combat. And I hit. So I collect 30 hearts and a minor treasure card. I'll do some banking here and simplify my stack of hearts. Exchange 50 there for another 50. Draw the minor treasure, which happens to be a barrel. Barrels give me an additional carrying capacity of 3, so I'll mark that down with 3 of those carry tokens. The Keepaw is immediately dispatched with the Bow of Artemis. So I draw 1 heart. I'll just exchange these 4 hearts plus 1 for another 5, and plus 5 for the 10. And the room happens to be a merchant. So I could save the merchant for another time if I didn't have enough money to make any purchases. But I decide I have enough hearts, so I'm going to actually purchase an Olympic treasure and a major treasure and see what happens. So that's 100 hearts, and I'll get 10 back for change. The Olympic treasure is the Staff of Palutena, which is another great item that lets me summon a centurion in each encounter. The major treasure is a bronze feather, so I'll just keep that. On to the next encounter. This so happens to be the end boss for this stage, Pandora. Pandora starts with 7 life. So I'll summon a centurion with the staff. Note also that the Bow of Artemis does not give me any first strikes against bosses. So I have 2 attacks, 2 Pandora's 1. Pandora hits. I absorb that damage with the Centurion. On to round 2. I hit on round 2. Now notice I am actually miscalculated. I should have hit for 4 damage because the staff plus the magic mushroom times 2 gives me 4, but I forgot to do that on the next attack. The next round, Pandora hits for 4 damage. Next attack, Pandora hits again. On to the next round, we roll the dice, and Pandora hits again. I'll exchange the 10 for a 6 health tokens. And the next set of rolls, and Pandora hits again. So not having a whole lot of luck with this encounter. Down to 3 life, and we'll roll the die again. So it's a tie, so Pit hits. Now, I should have hit for 4 damage again. I miscalculated, so I'm only doing 2 damage. Next attack, Pandora hits. So I've lost all my health tokens, but I have the 1-up mushroom, which I will very soon discard and gain back my starting health tokens. So I'll grab a 10 and we'll go for another round. So unfortunately for the next 2 rounds, this one and the next round, I actually get hit again. So kind of a streak of bad luck versus this boss. Get hit again. So that takes me down to 2 life. And finally I have some luck versus Pandora. We tie, and that goes to me, so I finally remembered to do 4 damage in this round, so Pandora is destroyed. So I discard Pandora, I collect 9 health, 20 hearts, and an Olympic treasure. The Olympic treasure is a longbow, which gives me 2 additional first strikes. That does not help me at this point in the game because we're on to the boss, and first strikes don't count against bosses. So this is the end boss, Shadow Link. He starts with 10 health, and if he hits you on a first attack, it does double damage for 12. I have 11 health, so if he hits me, I will get killed in a single hit. Now, unfortunately, he did hit me, so game is over here. Now I could have summoned a Centurion, but for some reason I forgot when I was doing this playthrough, so I may have been able to go on and potentially defeat Shadow Link. Alas, just for demonstration purposes, you can see this is one way in which the game could end. So finally, what you can do for fun is to calculate your end score. I have 50 hearts plus 11 health for 61 points. I also have 30 Olympic treasures for 90 points, 2 minor treasures for 20 points, and a major treasure for another 20 points, or a total of 191 points. Thanks for watching.